my friends. It's me, and today I'm going to do an animated story, which is I have 10 dads, and I'm not kidding. No, I don't know if this is true or not, but I'm just gonna get into it. Okay, so
to leave for a crazy party at my friend's house when Mom barged into my room and declared,
are they doing?
"Mia, we're moving tomorrow." I was devastated.
Did she literally just crack the mirror with a hammer?
Because of her job as a supermodel, we moved and traveled a lot.
Oh,
But she'd promised we'd stay here till I finished high school. I tried to argue, but she had an even bigger bomb ready. Say your goodbyes to everyone
that's a
tonight.
big bomb.
We're heading for my hometown tomorrow morning. When I heard that, I knew
What type of face is this? What type of face is this? What the?
we passed out. Her dull, boring hometown? It was one thing to travel from New York to Paris or Switzerland, like we had in the last 15 years, but her hometown? That was taking things too far. Hi, I'm Mia, and I have the perfect life.
Nice.
A famous
How are you?
supermodel mom, endless traveling, crazy shopping sprees, and 400 pairs of shoes.
Oh,
But then one day, my mom decided to move back to her hometown. The day we moved back, it was as if the entire town had come to see my mom. Not that 100 people is a big crowd, but boy, was it awkward. Everybody was awestruck at seeing Mom. And me too, because apparently no one knew Mom had a kid. A few hours later, as I was checking out the town, I heard someone talking about Mom. One of the women talking said that Mom had left 15 years ago. The woman said, "I hear her girl is 15 too. You know what that means? Her father must be from here." I was shocked. Mom had never told me about my dad and has always said she was both my parents. I had to ask her. At home, Mom was unpacking boxes in the lounge. "Is that why we're here? To find my dad? Is he here? Have you seen him? Does he know I'm here?"
Wait, so
but
you're
what my
just
mom
gonna
said left
wait? So Mia's just gonna bulge out and with her dad. Just say something about her dad because she heard two people talking about that's just oh wow.
horrified. "You will not be meeting him. I'll make sure of that."
Sure.
I tried to ask her why, but she just said that she was my dad. She said she'd raised me alone and we didn't need anyone else now. I begged to differ. I needed a dad. My dad. Just get rid.
So she's saying that she doesn't need half her mom because her mom is her dad? I don't get it. I don't get that she's saying she doesn't like half of her mother because she needs a half of her mother. It's very complicated.
For school tomorrow. Like hell I would. I was on a mission to find my dad. I couldn't stop wondering who he was and if he missed me. As I sat in my first class the next day, everyone was staring at me. The girls kept giving me jealous looks, and 3 guys had already asked me out. Small towns were so boring. I was like a shiny new toy, but I was soon to be very not bored.
Not
You see,
bored.
as soon as my teacher, Mr. Jason, came into the room, he took one look at me and screamed, "Joanne?" Joanne was my mom's name. I told him that we had moved back yesterday.
Wait,
His
what?
eyes widened.
Wait, is this her dad? How do we? Wow.
"Joanne is back? And she has a 15-year-old daughter?" "That's what I just said."
Oh my God.
Immediately, he turned around and left the room. That was so weird. A girl behind me laughed and said, "Awkward.
Oh,
No one
that
really
is
likes
awkward.
you or your mom around here." I was furious. I didn't even know this girl. But before I could reply,
Stranger
someone else
danger.
cut in. "Cut it out. You're just jealous because she and her mom are so pretty." I blushed and looked at the boy who said that. He was a cute, brown-haired boy.
Cute.
The way he looked at me gave me butterflies. After school, I was about to leave when Mr. Jason ran up to me. He pushed a huge teddy bear and a packet of candy into my arms and said, "Take these. Did your mom tell you I'm your dad?
Oh
Is that
my
why you're in my
God.
class? How could she hide you from me?" As he left,
Duh.
sniffling, I stared after him in shock. What was he talking about? Just then,
Oh
a
my
guy ran up to me and
God.
said, "Hey, sweetie, want to go on a date with me?
my
You're the
God.
prettiest girl in this school, ever." Another shoved him aside and said, "Dream on, loser. She's going on a date with me first." Suddenly, the boy from class came over to me and said, "Stop it, guys. Can't you see you're making her uncomfortable?" And he sent them away. I thanked him, and he introduced himself as Aaron. "Do you maybe want to hang out with me? We can watch a movie?" My heart fluttered. Sure. We had just walked up to
Sure.
his door when his next-door neighbor, who was mowing the lawn, screamed. He was staring at me and looked like he'd seen a ghost. "Joanne?" Okay, this was so annoying. Did I look old enough to be in my 30s? Aaron told this guy, Tom, that I was Joanne's daughter. To my shock, he ran over to hug me. I felt so embarrassed when he looked at me with tears in his eyes and said, "I never knew. How could she hide this?"
I don't get it. How is there this many boys? Weird.
Remy, it's so cruel! I gasped. What was he trying to say? Were you Mom's best friend? Could you help me find my dad? Your dad! If you're 15, I'm sure I'm your dad. She didn't even tell you? I want to talk to her. Where is she? Before I could say anything, though, Tom ran back to his house, leaving the two of us alone. Then Aaron said, wow, that was weird. They must have been real good friends. Yeah, looks like it. Yeah. Do you maybe want to get some ice cream now?
Yes.
I was barely listening. Both Mr. Jason and Tom had acted so weird and emotional seeing me. They both thought I was their daughter. At home, I wasn't surprised to see Mom had visitors. I could hear yelling and ran inside to see Tom and Mr. Jason fighting. My mom was trying to break them apart, but they weren't listening to her. I grabbed a plate and smashed it. The sound made them all freeze. What in the world is going on? Immediately, both the men dashed towards me. And, I kid you not, both were crying. Tom yelled, "My daughter!" Mr. Jason jumped in. What do you mean your daughter? She's my daughter! I looked in shock at both the men and then at Mom. You want to tell me what's going on, Mom? Before Mom could say anything, Mr. Jason said, before your mom left town, we were dating. So clearly, you're my daughter. But then Tom cut in. After this moron cheated on her and broke her heart, she dated me in secret for a month. We were best friends, and then she got scared and ran away, I think. I was taken aback while Mom lazily yawned and said even Tom had cheated on her. So since both the men had broken her heart, she would never tell them whose daughter I was. Tom looked hurt and immediately began to grovel for forgiveness. He said Mom was his only true love. He said he'd never dated anyone after her. This was so weird. Mom, I need to know who my dad is. I'm the only father you've ever had, Mia. Just accept it. I came here to show both these losers I didn't need anyone to make it big and raise my little girl. Oh yeah? So what about me, huh? I need to know. For a minute, she looked upset. Like she never thought I would want to know. Then she smiled and said, just pick one. Whoever you want as your dad. Pick him. All three of us looked shocked. But Mom clearly considered the conversation over and left the room. Both men turned to me. The way they looked at me made me panic. Uh-oh. I turned and ran out. I didn't want to be dealing with this right now. Unexpectedly, having two dads wasn't all that bad at first. Both of them were clearly still in love with Mom and were desperate to win me over. So the next few weeks were amazing. Mr. Jason treated me like I owned the school. He was passing me in every class, and none of the rules applied to me. Everyone was so jealous. I was showered with the strangest gifts. Mr. Jason would get me candy and dolls like I was a kid, while Tom got me all of Mom's favorite music and movies. I wasn't complaining though. I did enjoy the attention and gifts and money. Oh boy, there was a lot of money. But sometimes I didn't feel so sure. It seemed like both these guys were just really in love with Mom and wouldn't stop asking me to praise them in front of her. The worst part was when every day Mr. Jason and Tom showed up at our house wanting to walk me to school. I kept telling them that I wouldn't let either of them walk me. There was no way on earth I could show up to school with my teacher and my crush's neighbor. The girls would give me hell. One day, Mr. Jason showed up with a huge doll and more candy. Tell your mom I gave these to you, okay, kiddo?
They're acting like they want the daughter, not the mom. I thought there was 10, not 2. Well, the story was just beginning.
I pushed it back into his hands. I'm 15, not 5. Tom pushed $50 into my hand. Yes, take this instead. Youngsters need money. They don't play with dolls. Gee, thanks. Would you tell Mom if I skip school today? No. I mean, I can be the fun parent. I grinned at him, and he looked like he'd won the lottery. Uh-oh. I didn't want him to think I'd chosen him. Not so soon, anyway. Thanks, bye. I turned and ran. Thankfully, I could outrun them both, and I knew exactly where to go. Just outside the arcade, though, I ran headfirst into someone. Ow! The man saw the money in my hand and looked at me suspiciously. Who are you running from, kid? Did you steal that? Excuse me? What did he think I was, a beggar? I told him to butt out of my business and tried to walk past him. But then I felt a hard tug on my back. He was holding me back. Shouldn't you be in school? What are you, my dad? He said this part of town was dangerous and I shouldn't be here alone. Listen, mister, I'm not here to commit a crime. I'm just going to play some arcade games, so excuse me. He looked around and then sighed. Fine. I'll come and watch over you. I was stunned.
Excuse me?
Was he some kind of creepy pervert?
Wait.
He seemed normal.
So this weirdo asks you to watch over you at the arcade? Like, what the hey is going on? Like, I think the story is building up. It's building and pretty weird. We'll keep watching.
Enough. But why did